All right. It's Kimberell, can't you tell? Good evening, good evening, good evening. I hope y'all can see this. Maybe I need to make it a little smaller because I don't know. Okay, should be able to see it now. Good evening. I'm going to give some people a chance to come in and then we'll get started yapping. We'll get started on our this interesting conversation that I think needs to be had. Good evening. I'll give some people a chance to come in. It's Kimberell, can't you tell? Shades low, can't you tell? Everybody wants to sing like me. Kitchen with the heat. All right, I'm just giving some people a chance to come in. Good evening. Hello, hello, hello. If this is your first time here, my name is Natalie Louise. I'm a self-esteem coach, and it is my mission. It's my passion, my mission to destigmatize low self-esteem. And the reason I say it's my mission is because I suffered with low self-esteem, and I stayed in it for so long because I was ashamed. I was scared to admit that I did not feel as good as I should, that I did not consider myself worthy or beautiful or deserving of all good things. And so I stayed in low self-esteem, and I accepted some pretty terrible things because of low self-esteem. And so it is my mission to destigmatize low self-esteem, to bring people out of the shame, to be honest. Because when you're honest, when you tell the truth, you are empowered to choose a different path. You're empowered to be healthier. Good evening, Mia. Is it Mia or Maya? I'm going to say your name right. I don't want to mess nobody's name up. And so tonight we'll be talking about why low self-esteem attracts and enables narcissists. And how some of the things that we grew up with kind of primes us. M-I-A, Mia. All right. Well, is that Mila? M-I-A. Maya? Maya. Child, please get me together. Gather me together. Okay. Mia. Okay. So, I'm sorry. I like to say people's name right. I don't want to disrespect your name. But so that's what we'll be talking about tonight. We're going to be talking about how and why low self-esteem attracts and enables narcissists. I wanted to give people a chance to come in, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. Now you know who I am. I'm Natalie Louise. I'm a self-esteem coach. I'm passionate about women recognizing their value and coming out of the identity that's rooted in trauma to that identity that is rooted in truth. A lot of the things that we know about ourselves are things that were given to us from our traumatic childhoods. And so I want us to be healed from that. But what I first want to go over is, what is a narcissist? This is a term that people have used every which way. Everybody is a narcissist. Everybody. Narcissists here. You get a narcissist. You get a narcissist. Everybody's a narcissist. So I want to go over what psychologists define a narcissist as. Drink your water and mind your business. All right, y'all? All right. So a psychologist describe or define a narcissist as someone who relies on control, admiration, emotional dominance to regulate their self-worth because their identity cannot tolerate accountability, vulnerability, or equality. A narcissist is someone who relies on control, admiration, emotional dominance to regulate their self-worth. To regulate their self-worth. Because their identity cannot tolerate accountability, vulnerability, or equality. That is right, JT. I would file for one too. I would file for a restraining order. I would file for one too. Yeah, I would file for one too, because you're the crazy one. You doing that against me, you're the crazy one. Child, listen. Okay, so I want y'all to know, if y'all can go look this up. There are two conditions. There are two conditions that psychologists say, I'm not going to say cannot be helped, but they say they're resistant to change. And narcissistic personality. What did I say? You talking about me? Didn't he file for us? I would say make sure you have one too. He's the one that abused you. Can you file for one against him? He's the crazy person. You need protection. Okay. Good. One of the things about crazy people is they don't care. They will try to do any and everything to make you look bad. So you have to really go into overdrive to protect your peace. Don't even take it personally. Because one thing you know already is he's crazy. Okay? One thing you know already, if an abuser, anybody on here that is dealing with an abuser, they're unwell. Okay? Don't internalize anything that's going on right now. He is unwell. And he's going to do whatever he can to take you through hell. Okay? That rhymed. I wasn't trying to rap, but that's the truth. He is unwell, and he's going to do everything he can to take you through hell. Okay? Because he really wants to keep the power. All right? Okay, Casey, join us. We're doing an identity intervention. It's a 3-day self-esteem boot camp. We'll talk about identity, setting boundaries, and activating your confidence. I'm always talking about self-esteem. I'm always trying to pull my girls higher, because the reason that we allow certain things is because of what we believe about ourselves. And so how do we stop allowing these things? Change our beliefs. Okay? All right, so a narcissist is someone who needs to control. They need control to feel okay about themselves. They need control to feel okay about themselves. They don't know how to take responsibility. They don't know how to sit with being wrong. They will scratch and they will fight tooth and nail to avoid accountability. Because the truth is, they can't handle it. Their ego is so fragile. I'm just giving y'all the backstory. Because sidebar, when you're dealing with them, it doesn't matter what their problem is. I'm just going to say the truth. If you're involved with a narcissist, it doesn't matter. I'm just giving y'all information. Who cares? Okay? Save yourself. I'm just giving y'all information about, what is a narcissist? If you're involved with a narcissist, I don't care nothing about the backstory. I don't care how you got here. I don't care what happened to you. I don't care. Because guess what? There's someone who relies on control, admiration, emotional dominance. So the first sight of you trying to leave, well, this is what happened to me as a child. I was abused. And I just can't, trying to pull you back into the fold so I can control you again. I'm just giving y'all information. I'm not saying any of this so that won't think, no. Bird with the broken wing, you gonna sit there, you better hope somebody drops something down for you to eat. Because let the wolves come grab you. I'm not saving us. I implore you. Low-key down low. I don't know about that. But I'm just saying this so y'all have information. I'm not encouraging you to engage with them. Okay? The best thing you can do with a narcissist is get away. Okay? All right, so they don't know how to sit with being wrong. They don't know how to love without power. Stepping right over it, Flo. Stepping right over it. So they manage their feelings by controlling conversations, shifting blame. It's never their fault. Okay? It's never. I don't care what happens. Some kind of way, it's going to come back to your door. Who's still sticking beside her? You talking about the friend still sticking beside her? Lord, oh my goodness. We need to touch and agree that our sister be delivered. Set her free. Lord have mercy. So not everyone that hurts you is a narcissist, but if they have narcissistic patterns, that can drain you and save yourself. Okay? What happened? Let's see. Narcissists make up less than 2. So that's what I just said it. Not everyone is a narcissist, but some people have narcissistic patterns. I'm not here to diagnose you, but if your patterns align with narcissistic patterns, I'm still going to save myself. For the ladies on here, or the men, whoever's on here who has any issues with narcissistic personalities, look at the patterns and move forward. Okay? Okay? Just look at the patterns. Well, narcissistic personality, somebody that suffers from a narcissistic personality disorder, the things that I said, it's because it's so ingrained, it's one of the hardest things to treat. The only way psychologists say, a narcissist can be helped is by long-term, voluntary therapy. If you do the research, guys, it does say, psychologists say that narcissistic personality disorder and sociopaths, antisocial personality disorder, those are the 2 conditions that they don't say can't be helped, but they're just resistant to treatment. Okay? And so people may not have narcissistic personality disorder diagnosed, but they may have narcissistic patterns. And so either way, I want you to save yourself. Okay? All right, so we talked about what is a narcissist. Let's talk about why low self-esteem attracts and enables narcissists. So, narcissists don't look for high self-esteem. If you have high self-esteem and you have good boundaries, it doesn't matter who they're looking for. Boundary gotta go. That's what high self-esteem, knowing who you are and acting like it does for you. Because in every situation, I choose me. I choose me. All right, so narcissists don't look for weak people. They look for people who believe they're not allowed to leave. Right? They look for people who want to stick with them, who learn to endure in love. That's what they want. People that endure. They run from high self-esteem because they know I'm less likely to be able to harm this person. What is antisocial? Sociopaths? What's a sociopath? I hate to say, we can go into the psychologist definition, but those aren't good people. If you ever think about, most serial pum-pums are sociopaths. So, now you said you have, how are your boundaries? Are your boundaries where they need to be? Meaning, when at your first sign of red flags, did you silence the red flag? Did you paint it green? Did you ignore it? Did you, I was in an abusive relationship, so I know that it can happen. My mom was in an abusive relationship. I know, so. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. When we're talking about abuse, this is my opinion, guys. If you want to stay after someone does one thing abusive, that's your prerogative. But in my opinion, at the first sign of abuse, it's done. The first sign. And I'll be honest with you, name calling, shut up. At the first shut up, that's it for me, because that's disrespectful. And abuse doesn't get better. Disrespect doesn't get better. Thank you so much. Thank y'all. All right, so if you ever said I keep giving people chances, this live is for you. Okay, so the first way, how low self-esteem attracts and enables narcissists. Tolerance is mistaken for love. Low self-esteem trains you to endure. Sunflower, I don't understand what you're saying. One, shut up and you're totally done with somebody. How do you have relationships? You teach people how to treat you. So I don't play about like disrespect. I'm very clear in my communication. I don't tolerate disrespect. And so because I'm clear in my communication, you know how to talk to me. If you don't know how to talk to me, you don't have to be in my life. And I'm very serious about that. How do I have relationships? The people that are in my life respect me. And as soon as you disrespect me, you are not welcome here. Right? And I'm going to tell you why I'm so serious about that. It's because I used to allow disrespect and laugh it off. But while you're laughing, you're chipping away at your soul. While you're laughing, you're chipping away at your self-respect. And so I don't play about me. And I'm not going to hold on to any relationship over my self-respect. Okay? That's how I work it out. So low self-esteem has taught us to endure, not discern. At the first sign of danger, y'all, a lot of times we have intuition. We get a warning that somebody is not a nice person, that they're not faithful, that they're not honest. Sometimes we have warnings and we ignore them because we want that connection, right? You stay because life has taught you to choose connection over self-respect. What you tolerate teaches people how to treat you. What you tolerate teaches people how to treat you. You catch somebody in a lie one time, and you noted in your head, you might not even say anything to them. You noted in your head, oh, he lied about that. And you don't say anything, you don't address it, you just go on with life like nothing happened. What that tells him is, and you don't say anything, you don't address it, you just go on with life like nothing happened. What that tells him is, I can lie to her. Okay, I can be a liar. I know she ain't gonna say nothing. I know she know I'm lying. But she's going to give up her self-respect to keep me. I talked about this the other day. I think it's in this too. We'll get to when there are no consequences, there's going to be more audacity. When there are no consequences, it's heightening audacity. They're going to try something else. And they're going to try something else. And they're going to try something else until you feel like you lost yourself completely. It definitely goes for friendships too. This is my personal notebook. That's my scribble scrabble. My personal notebook. I just like to take notes so I don't miss anything. All right, so 2, people pleasing becomes their playground. Are there any people pleasers in the room? People pleasing is a narcissist playground. Narcissists thrive where conflict is avoided, your needs are minimized, and silence is rewarded. Y'all know when people give it, that's why anytime somebody come in here and they say, somebody give me the silent treatment, let them be quiet forever. If someone is giving you the silent treatment, let them not ever speak to you again. You know why I say that? That's abuse. If somebody is giving you a silent treatment, they're trying to make you earn your way back to their life. Like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And so when you choose yourself, next time somebody gives you a silent treatment, choose yourself. Go on with your life as if nothing happened. They're going to wonder what happened. Why aren't you chasing after them like you usually do? Why aren't you begging them to let you back in? Because they're used to you choosing them over yourself. Choose yourself. Y'all, we talking about narcissists. This doesn't just go for romantic relationships or friendships. This goes for family too. because a lot of us were trained from childhood on how to be. Child, they can have you. Nobody that I've ever dealt with can make me jealous. You hear what I'm saying? Because I know who I am. And I know who you are. And that lady over there going through. She over there. I pray for her. Lord, help her. Okay? All right. So, 1, tolerance is mistaken for love. Let's stop tolerating crap. Number 1. At the first sign of danger. Ruby, narcissists thrive where conflict is avoided. Right? When you bring up what's the problem. When you bring it up, oh, they don't like that. A lot of people benefit from our low self-esteem, our inability. A lot of us feel like we're conflict avoidant, right? We call ourselves non-confrontational. I'm non-confrontational, but you're not non-confrontational. I'm going to tell you what's going on. What's happening is you're afraid of what will happen if you stand up for yourself. You're afraid of confronting a problem. Because what if they don't like you anymore? What if they don't want to be your friend? What if they get angry at you? What if they call you difficult? I would rather be called difficult for the rest of my life and have peace in knowing I chose me. Call me what you want, but you ain't gonna call me broke. Because I am not broken anymore. And I want to talk about that financially. I'm talking about I was broken. Choosing other people over myself. Afraid of losing your job by setting boundaries? By setting boundaries, that go a wrongful termination. Wrongful. My Caucasian adoptive mother told me that she didn't like me. People are unwell. People are unwell. Yeah, most of the people that a lot of the brokenness in us come from us being in the lives of people who did not have the capacity to steward us well, right? They were supposed to protect us and they abused us. A lot of us, our first instances with love was telling us that we had to earn our place in the house. We had to prove our worth in our families. And I was going to do that at the end. But we had to prove our worth. And that's why we're okay with somebody saying, what do you bring to the table? That's why we don't think anything is wrong with that. I'll just list off all the things I bring. Because we were taught you got to earn your stay. You can't just be in this house and don't bring nothing. Let me go back. I'm going to go back to my list, okay? We're going to get to narcissistic families and how that primes us to be in narcissistic relationships. So, lack of boundaries. Number 3, lack of boundaries invites escalation. Lack of boundary invites escalation. Narcissists will test you. Then they push you. Then they invade your space. They test you. I don't know what the question was, SG. What's the question? Narcissists test you, they push you, and invade you. They want to take over. They got to take over devil with them strong. Okay? I'm telling you what I know. What question? Why do you do what you do? What do you bring to the table? You want to know my response to that question? Renee, tell him to go and don't ever come back. Please, have at it. Be well. Those threats don't work on me because I know who I am. Get up out of here then. What kind of carpet you need to get on up out of here? You need a red? You need a blue? So, all right. So, the way that I discuss this question about what do you bring to the table? So my suggestion is to lace up your sneakers and run. If somebody asks you, what do you bring to the table? Get up out of there. And I'm going to tell you why, okay? Someone who asked that question is not aware of the inherent value that people bring, right? Because when you have people in your life, you love them. You engage in relationship with them, you find out who they are, and as you learn them, you love them, right? But when somebody asks you what you bring to the table, they're asking you to quantify your value. Why should you be in my life? If you don't know that people are inherently valuable, everybody in this live right now is valuable. I'm not going to ask you, why are you valuable? I'm not asking you that, because I know God created you. When he created you, you have value, period. It's nothing that you do that makes you more valuable. So when somebody says, what do you bring to the table? They want you to quantify your value when it was given by God. You don't have to work for it. And I'm going to say this too. When you go into relationships that people ask, what do you bring to the table? You are going to spend your life working to prove your worth. You will spend your life or the entirety of that relationship proving that you're valuable, because you entered at the gate with somebody saying, how can you help my life? How can you prove to me that I should choose you? Don't choose me. Hey, leave me where I am. Leave me where I am. If you don't know that I'm inherently valuable, that I am the prize, get up out of here. Get up out of here. I'm going to tell you what. Another thing that does is when you try to list and quantify your value, it's almost like, this is why I need you to choose me. Look at all the things I can do that I'll be worthy of your love. And my grandma, that's a little bit too similar to chasing a man. My grandma told me years ago, if you chase a man, you will always chase that man. I wasn't even old enough to understand it when she said it. If you chase a man, you will always chase him. That's also why when a man asks me, what do you look for in a man? I'm not looking for a man. I'm not looking for a man, baby. I'm looking to find who I am. I'm looking for more of me. How can I become the best version of myself? Why? Because time and time again, we answer that question. We answer, what am I looking for in a man? Well, I want somebody who loves God. I want somebody who's kind, who's compassionate, who loves his mom. I want somebody who takes care of his kids. I want somebody who's considerate and, listens to me. You listing all this off, and this man is making notes. Okay, who do I need to pretend to be for her to give me what I want? Don't give nobody the playbook of how to get you or how to fool you. The playbook. This is what I need to know that you the man of my dreams. And here they go putting on their mask. They like, how do I need to sew the mask up? Oh, I need to look like I love my mama. I'm going to act like I'm calling her. I need to look like I'm taking care of my kids. Or let me act like I'm taking care of my kids. Well, I'm going to tell you, self-love will put you on a journey to celibacy, because once you understand your value, you can, I don't even want anybody to be able to say, I had her. I don't even want you to be able to say that, because I know I'm too valuable. Y'all understand this? This is something that they don't want us to know. They don't want us to know this. They get social capital by being associated with us. Clara, listen, let them both go. If you can't determine if that's a narcissist but they a bad friend, you probably choose you. Choose you. If you can't, we might not even need to know the difference. If they are a bad friend and they make you want to shrink, they make you feel bad about yourself, bye. I ain't got to diagnose you. My boundaries have to protect me. If it makes you feel any type of way, you have to honor your feelings. That's why a lot of us engage in relationships that don't serve us, because we feel a certain type of way and we don't honor our feelings. Okay? Let's honor ourselves. Honor yourself, y'all. Honor yourself. If your self is telling you, get up out of there, You better listen. If you talking about narcissists, will they change ever? If you look it up, I'm not just saying nothing. I'm not blowing no smoke. There are 2 conditions that psychologists say are highly resistant to change. That's narcissists and sociopaths. Get on up out of there. Get on up out of there, girl. Get on up out of there. Don't wait for nobody to change. Okay? We were talking about lack of boundaries invites escalation. No consequences equals more audacity. More audacity. Antisocial personality disorder. Excuse me. Antisocial personality disorder. I'll have to get the psychologist. I like to give the psychologist. When we're talking about conditions, I like to give y'all what the psychologists say, so that we can have an accurate depiction of what it is, not just my opinion. I'm tired, girl. Maddie, take a break. Go ahead and pour into yourself. Love you. Somebody asked me, how do you have a healthy relationship? Have a healthy relationship with yourself. When you have a healthy relationship with yourself, it's easier to recreate that with other people, right? But if you're used to abusing yourself, neglecting yourself, not choosing yourself, you're not going to be able to have a healthy relationship with other people. How do I know that? Because instead of you choosing you and standing up for yourself and saying what you need, you're going to be a people pleaser. That's not a healthy relationship. You're going to shrink yourself so that you're digestible. That's not healthy. Okay? The most important relationship you have is with yourself. All right? So, boundaries do not change narcissists, but they do expose them. Max, come and join us at the Identity Intervention Self-Esteem Bootcamp. It's going to be January 8th, 9th, and 10th. The link is in my bio. It's a self-esteem bootcamp. We're doing the work. How do you do it? We got to do the work. We got to tell ourselves the truth. We got to do the work. Somebody else is going to lie to you and say, look in the mirror and say, I love you, I love you, I love you. Somebody else is going to say, I'm important, I'm important, I'm important, I'm important. We got to do the work. It's $97. It's a 3-day self-esteem boot camp. I am gifting with you with my book called The Boundary Breakdown. But it's so imperative that we heal, because a lot of the stuff was passed to us generationally. And who's going to stop it? Who's going to stop it? Who is going to ensure that you don't endure another year of pain, another year of being put last? Who's going to change it? Who's going to do? Who's coming to save you? Who? I sound like an owl. Who? I'm telling you, nobody is coming. I was waiting for somebody to come and make me believe that I was worthy. They're not coming. They're coming to benefit off of your low self-esteem. There are people in your life right now who benefit off you not knowing your value. I block him and he gets through to me through the kids. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all what I suggest, and we're gonna talk about it. How to heal. Let me get down and through the stuff, and we'll talk about how to heal. Because one of the things that helps me, I have a narcissistic father. One of the things that helps me in my relationship with my father is knowing who he is. I am never confused in conversation with him. It is always about him. Always about making him look like a great grandfather, like making him look like it's always about that. So if in your mind, every time you deal with them, if you've had children with a narcissist, every time you deal with them, do not forget who they are. They are never doing anything for you. I don't care if they say, let me pay the bills for a month or two. They could just be doing that so they can say, I pay her bills 2 months straight. Just so that they get, what is it? We talked about it earlier. Just so that they have an ego boost. They regulate their self-worth. That's what they're doing. So I understand that when my dad calls and offers to do anything for me, it's not about me. It's about him looking like he's a good father and grandfather. And guess what? If that's what you want to do, but I'm never confused about who you are. Never. Because you're not dragging me down that road. I'm not going there. We didn't been to see the wizard. Ain't nobody back there. It's a man behind that curtain. Ain't no wizard. You ain't gonna trick me again. So he always does that. Like, I carried the family. I was there for you. Like, who you fooling? Not me. We done been down that road, boo. All right, number 4, boundary. Okay, I said boundaries don't change narcissists, they expose them. All right, 4, validation addiction creates trauma bonds. A lot of us are in the situations that we're in because we wanted to be validated. I'm never going to make somebody feel bad about wanting to be validated. Who don't want to be wanted? Who? I think everybody wants to be wanted. The problem is when you trade your self-respect for connection. That's the problem. Self-respect is first. Prioritize you. If somebody says, if you love me, you would do this. Well, guess I got to get on out of here. Because we find ourselves, we think we're working towards relationship. A lot of us are in manipulationships. Just being manipulated. If you cared about me, you would, if you love me. If I love you, you know what? Gotta go. I like you. I did like you. But I'm looking at you from a different angle. Y'all seen, I don't know if y'all seen it. But I seen you from a different angle. And I had to get up out of there. Okay? So a lot of us are, the hot cold cycle keeps us chasing who we were in the beginning, what we were in the beginning. He loved me so much. He was so kind. He was so considerate in the beginning. Like, what is happening? What changed? How can we get that back? Don't get it back. Run. Put it in the dumpster. Set the dumpster on fire and run. Okay? All right. Now let's talk about how to heal. How to heal. This one is going to be hard for some of us. Thank you, TikTok. I love you too. This one's going to be hard. Stop seeking closure. Y'all all right? Y'all all right? Stop seeking closure. Thank y'all. Stop seeking closure. Like, because guess what? I'm gonna tell you. Narcissists won't ever allow you closure. They're never gonna give you closure. Never. They're always gonna try to ram back up. Let's get this back started. We don't have to go nowhere. Let's stay right here. Why? Because they have been in a cycle of control. They've been in a cycle of learning how to manipulate your emotions. They've been in a cycle of knowing how to put you up and down and all around and bring you back again. They know how to do that. So they don't want to let you go. So they're not going to give you closure. There's another reason that narcissists won't allow you to have closure. We talked about what a narcissist is. A narcissist, that's how they regulate their emotions, by having control. They cannot take accountability. Okay? So they deny closure because they would have to say, I did you wrong. They can't say that. Thank you. They can't say that. They cannot handle it. And again, we don't care what they can handle. At this point, don't be worried about their feelings. Don't invest. Withdraw. Let's not seek closure, okay? Let them and stop. Let's stop leaving the door cracked open. How about that too? Because a lot of times, some of us ask for closure because we're not ready to end the situation. We ask for closure just because we want to have one more conversation so we can get one more last. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. It's not worth it. Okay? I'm just going to say this. I'm going to tell the truth. Mine says he knows he did wrong, but so did I. So, I don't know if I said this yesterday. Like, when you say, I'm sorry, but you did something to me, you completely negate your apology. Like, that doesn't even matter, because taking accountability does not include you doing a reallotment of the blame. Yes, I did this, but look what you did to me. What that got to do with what we talking about? If you had a problem with what I did, you should have brought it up in your own conversation. Don't make it a part of what I'm talking about. That's why I'm saying you don't even waste your time, boo. Don't even waste your time. Closure comes from clarity. Be clear. Be clear that you're not doing this no more. You're not available for the dynamic, and keep it moving. All right? How to heal. Rebuild trust with yourself. A lot of us have lost trust with ourselves because we saw red flags and we ignored it. Because we should have left at the first sign of disrespect, and we stayed. I want you to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself. Give yourself kindness. Give yourself grace. Okay? We don't abuse ourselves over here. Not another day do you say anything negative about yourself. Guess what? Even if it was a negative choice, even if it's something that you regret, I did the best I could. With the information I had, with the self-love that I had at that time, I did the best that I could. Thank you. That's the fact. Not another day do you abuse yourself. Okay? Thank y'all. All right, so I need you to ask yourself, where did I override my intuition? We want to rebuild our trust, right? Where did I override my intuition? Where did I explain away the things that made me uncomfortable? Where did I do that to myself? Healing starts when you stop betraying yourself. You can heal when you stop putting yourself last, choosing other people over you. Okay? All right, how do you heal? Detox your nervous system. How many people were a nervous wreck after dealing with a narcissist? Nervous wreck. Thank you so much, Royalty. So trauma bonds live in your body. That's why you get anxious. You nervous in dealing with these people, because they didn't tore our nerves up. Who are you going to be today? Right? And so what you need to do is you need to detox your nervous system. You need to get back into being able to regulate your emotions. That's a very big part in self-love. Very big part. Regulating you got to be able to sit with the discomfort. Sit with it. Get still, understand your emotions. A lot of us have been taught to push our emotions down. However we feel, we push it down. I'm okay. I'm okay. No, I'm fine. Don't worry about it. I'm fine. Listen to me. It is okay to feel. It is okay. If you feel like you want to slide down a wall and cry, go ahead and get your nearest wall. Get real comfortable, right? Let it go. Let it go. Okay? All right. So you heal by stabilizing yourself. You heal by stabilizing yourself. 4, relearn boundaries. Relearn boundaries. Boundaries are your self-love in action. Boundaries are self-love in action. Okay? What you believe about yourself is what you allow. Whatever you believe about yourself is what you allow. If you're having trouble determining what you believe about yourself, I want you to look at what you've allowed, right? What have you allowed? What does that tell you about what you believe about yourself? The reason that's important to do is because when you can see what you believe about yourself and be honest about it, remember I said honesty empowers you to chart a healthy pathway forward. Once you know how you feel, once you know where you are, how do I change this? I don't know, but let's get it. Let's get it. I can't do this. I can't go another year waiting for somebody to choose me. It's time for us to choose ourselves. Okay? It's time for us to choose ourselves. All right, so a healed person doesn't argue, convince, or over-explain. The strongest boundary that you can ever have is knowing who you are and acting like it. knowing who you are and acting like it. You have to act like you know that if no one ever chooses you, you are still that girl. You are still worthy of all good things. You are still worthy of being honored. I don't need somebody standing beside me to feel valuable. I know I'm valuable. I am so valuable that I would rather stand alone than have a piece of man standing beside me that was using me and abusing me and diminishing me. I would rather. That's how valuable I am. Get away from me. Security. But when you don't know your value, you're less likely to require what you actually deserve. Okay? All right, so 5, we need to anchor your worth somewhere unshakable. Right? A lot of our worth is in our accomplishments, in how many friends we have, in having a boyfriend, having a man. That's what we put our value in. And so what happens when if you don't accomplish anything else? If you lose all your friends, if you lose all your man, who are you? All your man. All your man. If you lose the man, who are you? And so you need to root yourself in something unshakable. When your value is rooted in God, manipulation stops working. Y'all know how men say, you gonna end up alone? Y'all ever heard somebody say that? This is, no, this is in my notes. This is just me writing. I want to make sure. Sometimes I'm on live and something will come to me and I'll write it down in my notebook because I'm like, oh, that was good. Let me not forget that. So you can't manipulate someone who knows they're already loved and already chosen. Already loved, already chosen. When the men say this, they say, you gonna end up alone. Better alone than with you. Better alone and on my own than with you. What do you mean? That's not a threat, baby. I have a good time. Do you know I love to read? I love to pour me a glass of wine and rub my feet together under my blanket. Heated blanket at that. Low lights with just my light for my... what do you mean? What? Like I'm scared to be by myself and your feet stink anyway. I can wash just my drawers and my baby drawers. I ain't got nobody that's slew-footed. Okay, let's just... All right, so let's talk about narcissistic family. How does a narcissistic family contribute to us seeking narcissists or attracting and enabling narcissists in our adulthood, right? All right, so if you were a part of a narcissistic family, this is what you learned. You learned that love is conditional. I'm saying from experience. You learned that safety depends on being compliant. As long as you do what I say do, as long as you do what I say is okay, you can stay here. You will be safe. And to stay, you must be silent. You must be silent. So we learned that to survive, we have to shrink. We have to earn our place. Not because you're valuable. There are conditions to love. You got to be compliant. You got to be silent. Think about how that has reproduced. You've reproduced that in relationships in your adulthood. Think about that. Narcissistic families, we learn leaving feels like betrayal, not freedom. Leaving narcissistic families feel like betrayal, not freedom. Healthy systems, healthy families teach you independence. Narcissistic families teach you loyalty over choosing yourself. So when you become an adult, boundaries feel mean. Distance feels like a sin. You don't come around here no more. You don't never come see us. Y'all traumatized me. Y'all abused me all of my childhood. Why would I come around here? Why would I do that to myself? But that's what they say. Instead of accepting what they've done, you don't never come see us. And choosing yourself feels wrong. If you grew up in a narcissistic family, choosing yourself feels wrong. 3, if you grew up in a narcissistic family, you learned that roles replace identity. Right? Children are assigned roles. Some of us were the peacemaker. Some of us was a scapegoat. Some of us was the golden child, the invisible child. You are not seen as a person. You're seen as the function. What do you bring to this household? What do you bring to the table? That's why you overfunction, you tolerate disrespect, and you confuse usefulness with love. That's why, if you haven't seen anything wrong in the what do you bring to the table conversation, this is probably why. As a child, you were taught, in order to be at this table, you got to bring something. You're not just valuable because we love you and you're our family. You're only valuable if you add something. That's just a fact. That's a fact, royalty. What can I get out of you? What can I get out of you? All right, so 4, in narcissistic families, we learned that our nervous system was trained to endure. Because for a lot of us, chaos was normal. And this is my personal experience, child. Chaos was normal. Emotional unpredictability was routine. I didn't know who my daddy was going to be. I hope he made some money today, because if not, we are in for a night. And your body learns discomfort is familiar, and peace feels suspicious. That's why I say it's so important for us to heal our identity that's rooted in trauma. Because when your identity is rooted in trauma, discomfort is familiar. Peace feels suspicious. So if God gave you who you wanted right now, you have an identity rooted in trauma, you will sabotage it. You know why? Because when somebody's giving you everything you're asking for, it's going to be perceived as a threat. What's wrong with him? He's not abusive. He's not disrespectful. He thinks about me. Right? He considers me. Oh my goodness, he puts me first. And you'll find a way to create chaos, because that's what feels like home. That's what feels safe. That's what feels familiar. Your brain does not crave happiness, right? It craves the familiar. What's familiar? What do I know? I know pain. I know chaos. I don't know peace and love. So when peace and love is unfamiliar, you will sabotage it. Okay? All right, so this is why narcissistic partners feel recognizable. So we said attracts, but you recognize the chaos. That feels like home. So even though you consciously know, I don't want a narcissist, because you learned, what did you learn from your childhood? You need to earn love. So you make yourself useful in your narcissist's life, right? Your people pleasing that you learned in your childhood is their playground. I just want to make you happy. I make me happy. My goal is to make God happy. What he created me to do, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm telling y'all, you can't make people happy. Okay? If people are unhappy, you know how the old people used to say, I don't know if anybody on here grew up in the church with old people. This joy I have, the world didn't give it. I'm happy. There is a joy I have, because I know who I am based on what God says about me. Okay? So, I'm sorry. You can't people please. You can't please man. Nope. They're going to always find. That's why I say our identity is rooted in what the world says about us. They will always find a reason to tell you you're not good enough. Look at your teeth. They're crooked. Your nose is shiny. Your lash glue came off. Your hair is a little bit crunchy. They'll find everything. Look at your turtleneck. Yeah, anything and everything. just to make you feel like you're insignificant, you're not worthy, right? But it doesn't go on. I'm valuable. I don't care about any mistakes I've made. I am valuable. It doesn't matter. That's why I want y'all to get. And the root is identity. The root is identity. Okay, how do you heal? I'm gonna say just real quick, and then I'm gonna get out y'all face. How do you heal from narcissistic families? First, separate honor from access. You can definitely honor your mom and dad, but over there. Okay, way out over there. Way. Have a good night. You can honor them, but over there. You ain't got to give them access. You got to honor yourself, right? You can love somebody. Separate honor from access. So you can honor somebody as your mom or your dad, but that doesn't mean they have to be in your life. They have to be, because a lot of times you give people access, they're going to use it to abuse you. And so in order for me to honor you as my mom, you got to get gone. In order for you to honor me as my dad, you got to get off my phone. Because you're not going to be cussing at me. All right? Be blessed. Leave. Get out of there. What if the kid is a narcissist like the dad? Now, you can train a child. Train up a child in the way it should go. Get them together before they get going too far. Get them together before they get going too far. You can train a child. 2, mourn the parents that you didn't have. Please mourn the parents that you didn't have. Please mourn. Okay? I had to mourn that if I did get married, I would not have a father to walk me down the aisle. I'm not about to play those games with you. I'm not letting you walk me down the aisle so it look good. Absolutely not. That's the healing portion. That's your healing portion, Royalty, for sure. I don't have a father in the capacity that most people look at it, but God is my father. Whatever I need, I'm gonna tell y'all this. This was healing for me. Whatever I needed from my dad, I asked God for it. I need guidance. I need to feel safe. Oh, I wanted to cry that time. I need to feel safe because, you know, a lot of people, their dad makes them feel safe. I did not have that. And so my mom, I was just thinking, my mom was like, oh, if he ever see you alive. This is one thing I believe. If you are upset about me telling the truth, maybe you shouldn't have played that part. If you're upset about the part you played in my story, you shouldn't have done it. Because if my story is meant to heal people and set people free, I'ma tell it. Yeah, I remember you. I remember you. You took everything. He asked for time and you took everything. What happened? You got a part 2? What happened? Never knew they were narcissists. He calling me 30 times a day. He called you 30. You done took everything. Lord have mercy. You're not the 1 or 2 through 10, honey. Okay. Whatever you need, all the time you need. Okay, so mourn the parents you didn't have. 3, redefine loyalty. Redefine loyalty. It was never your portion, right, to endure abuse for the sake of love. Not with people. Not with people. You know, that was never your portion. 4, reclaim your right to choose. Y'all know we don't have to, we're not children anymore. The things that we did to stay safe, we had to stay safe as children. We don't have to do that anymore. You have the right to choose. You have the right to choose your own safety and prioritization. You don't have to let anybody abuse you or mistreat you. You know why? Cut the phone off. Block. They come to your house, you ain't got to open the door. Next pass does not excuse. That's what I said. When I started, I was reading, what is a narcissist? Why? It doesn't matter. It does not matter. It doesn't matter. It's at 5. It's at 5. Where's my notebook? It's at 5. I want to make sure I say the right time. It is going to be at 5 p.m. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, second week of January, which is 8th, 9th, and 10th. If you want to join us, it's going to be, the link is in my bio. It's called Identity Intervention. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. Is this channel only for women? This channel is for everyone working on their self-esteem. A lot of my content is in support of women because I am a woman. And I identify with the experiences that we have. But, you know, self-esteem is self-esteem. Please join. The link is in my bio. It is Identity Intervention. What do you do when someone doesn't respond well to your boundaries and you have to see them? Great question, Clara. So, when you set boundaries, healthy people will adjust. Unhealthy people will attack you. So, with that knowing, when you set a boundary and you enforce it and someone attacks you, now you know that person was in your life for the use of you and not for you. Because healthy people and people that love you want to see you well. When you set boundaries to protect yourself, people that love you are going to want to see you well. Right? People that are upset about you setting boundaries, it's because they wanted to use you in that way. So why would you cut me off? Why would you? And so in that respect, even if you have to see them, you act like nothing's wrong. Like, hey, how you doing? Okay, good. But honor your boundaries. You don't have to be evil and mean or any of that. Honor your boundaries and keep going. Now you know, though, if people are abusive after you set a boundary, they are not for you. Okay? I gave the definition of boundaries. Boundaries are the limits that individuals set. This is what how psychologists define boundaries. Boundaries are the limits individuals set to protect their emotional, mental, physical, and psychological well-being while maintaining a sense of self in relationships. Hello, Stephanie. So if you're in a relationship or you just got out of a relationship and you say, I lost myself. I don't know what happened to me. It's probably because you did not have boundaries set. Because boundaries are to maintain your sense of self so that you don't lose yourself. How do you stop being scared when they come to your door? Why are they at your door and didn't announce it? See? Do you need a restraining RO? I don't know if I can say that. How do you find good community? Good community, you can join my community. I'm good company. It's the Sacred Collective. The Sacred Collective is going to be 60 days where we work with each other. We'll meet twice a week. Because the truth is, when you start your self-love journey, when you start setting boundaries, it is hard. It is hard. You need somebody to touch and agree so that you can hold a line. Because a lot of times it's hard to sit with discomfort when you're learning how to set boundaries. That's emotional regulation is highly important. But come to the identity intervention. We're going to work on your identity, who you believe you are. We're going to look at why you believe those things and how do we change the beliefs. How do we set boundaries and enforce them? How do we activate confidence moving forward? Because a lot of us are not confident because we don't know who we are. We don't know who we are based on whose we are. And so we're looking to the world to tell us who we are. The world benefits off you not loving yourself. You know that? The world benefits. No, you don't. I believe in God. And so a lot of my teaching and a lot of my ideas discuss God. So, but you don't have to be a Christian, no. Narcissistic relationship with my grandma towards my mom. Now my mom and sisters makes it. It's generational. Boundaries help break generational patterns. Boundaries help break generational patterns. That's why I push for identity first, because who you believe you are determines what you allow. If you know who you are, you have a better shot at setting clear boundaries. How do you deal with workplace mobbing? One woman turned majority against me. I need job. Okay, Kiana, let me tell you something, girl. There is nobody that is happy in their real life that is coming to work to make other people miserable. You hear me? There is nobody that is happy in their real life and coming to work to make somebody else miserable. Let me tell you, those people, somebody getting knocked between the washer and the dryer, somebody's husband might be cheated on, somebody might, we don't know what they're going, but what we do know is that they're miserable. And so with that knowledge, right, understanding, okay, they crazy, they're miserable, and all of them have to come together, because guess what? I hate to say they threatened by you, but if all of them had to team up together to hate you, nobody could hate you. You couldn't hate me by yourself. You had to go grab friends. So I would say understand where they're coming from. They're not well, right? And I would implore you to pour love into yourself, to understand that this is not about you. How people treat you is a direct reflection of how they feel about themselves. And so the more they try to antagonize you, the better you need to treat them. Be kind, be courteous, be sincere, because you should understand if they're treating you poorly, they have to hate themselves. Please know that. How people treat you is a direct reflection of how they feel about themselves. So, you think they're mad now, keep being nice and kind and considerate. Did you need help? Oh, don't worry about it. Eat them right up. The Bible says something about it'll heap coals on their head. The Bible says that. It will heap coals. Be good to them, honey, because some people are crazy as a bedbug. All right, so again, the identity intervention will be January 8th, 9th, and 10th. The first day, we will be focusing on identity, who you are based on what God says. Day 2, we will be focused on boundaries. And then day 3, we will talk about activating your confidence. 3 days of self-esteem boot camp, revelatory work. If you join, you will get my book called The Boundary Breakdown, which is $47, but I will gift that to you as part of the class. So, how don't want to convert? What do you mean? He don't want to convert? How? Please, my goal is to have it every month in 2026. I want to help as many people as I can, not just learn about self-esteem, but actually implement self-esteem. Implement. The class is in the evenings. I'm always open. My email is always open. I haven't started taking one-on-ones. I do have a community that I am opening enrollment for called the Sacred Collective. It is 60 days. 60 days. That we will be meeting twice a week. We will have identity audits. We will have we'll practice our boundaries. We're going to do a lot of things in the Sacred Collective. I actually want to have, if you're interested, I want to offer Good Foundations, which is, I used to be a makeup artist. If you're interested and you're a part of the Sacred Collective, we'll meet and talk about how to do your makeup. But while we're talking about how to do your makeup, we want to talk about good foundations on accepting who you are, what God did when he made you, right? We don't want to just put makeup up to cover anything up. We want to accept the foundation that God gave us and then move into makeup. So the identity intervention is online via Zoom. It will be January 8th, 9th, and 10th at 5 p.m. It is live. It's not pre-recorded. And so it's about an hour each day. And I give a little extra time on the last day just in case people have any questions or want to share. How do you help someone who is not a Christian with Christian solution? Oh, okay. So for me, God is real. God is real and real and real and real and real. And I'm not trying to prove to you that he's real for you. I know he's real, right? And I am going to love, 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 love. And so it's my goal to give you the love of God, right? I want to give you the love of God. I want to love you so well that you say, well, I don't know. That's some good love she gave me. I haven't experienced pure love like that before, you know? So, I ran from God for a while. I grew up in church, but I ran from God because I blamed God for what people did to me. But now I know the truth. People are people, and God is God. So, yeah. So if you're interested, the link is in my bio. If you have any questions, please let me know. And I am excited for everyone who comes. It is a revelatory work. Your life will never be the same. Your life will never be the same. Can you love a narcissist in that way? Of course, from over there. I'm actually, Max, I go live almost twice almost every day. So I usually do lives in the morning where I'm kind of doing my makeup and just chatting. In the evening, I usually have targeted topics that I talk about because my mission is to destigmatize low self-esteem. That's my mission. I don't want anybody stuck in thinking that they're not worthy. So, let's see. Everyone that hurt me was led by God. They were led by the devil. And they were saying that they were supposed to be representatives, but they were really, Somebody said something. What if the person you had boundaries with now lives with you? Keep boundaries. Keep them. Well, I'm going to tell you something. I want to challenge you, Esther, because a lot of the self-help books, a lot of the wealth books, prosperity books, a lot of the things that are packaged and marketed as secular solutions are Bible-based. So if you're completely against Christ, then I don't know if my community would be best for you, just because I'm always going to talk about God and his place in my life. And if that makes you uncomfortable, then I don't want you to be uncomfortable. I want you to be in a comfortable space to do the work that you need to do to love yourself. Okay? I don't want to make anybody uncomfortable. And so my solution, like I said, I don't want you to have trauma-rooted identity. I want your identity to be rooted in truth. And what is the truth? Is that you're valuable because God said so. So, so what do you recommend for non-Christians? I'm gonna say, God, I'm so sorry. I'm because there's a lot of text, and for me, I just found it was empty. The creator, I know people say the universe. What do you believe in? What helped me? What saved me? Okay? Because I came from not wanting to be here. Y'all, please be kind. Please be kind, y'all. Because wherever she is in her journey, that's where she is. But I'm telling you, for me, what saved me as a person who once did not want to be here was recognizing that God gave me value from the foundation of the earth. He gave me value. And so if you don't know that you're valuable, it's because you have been tricked by whatever messaging you've received. You've been deceived by whoever told you weren't worthy, whoever told you weren't beautiful, you weren't smart enough, you weren't kind enough, whoever said anything to you that combated what God says about you. They're the lie. God's truth is that you are worthy. So I don't want you to be uncomfortable in your journey. I know what saved me. I know what rearranged life for me. And so that's why I teach what I teach. So, and this is another thing that I say. If you've ever felt like you did not want to be here, right? If the enemy was trying to convince you that you weren't supposed to be here, that is a great indicator that there is something for you to do that will give hell a run for its money. Okay? Because I thought about it like this, y'all. Y'all know we got something that we're supposed to do, and it's something that you were purposed for, right? And we have to figure it out. We got to do what God sent us here to do. And so I was like, well, why would the enemy want me to not want to be here if I wasn't doing my purpose? I wasn't doing my purpose. Why would he still torment me with those thoughts? Because he did not want me to recognize my value. Because with me recognizing my value, I said, now I got to tell other people that they're valuable so that they're not tricked. Okay? They discard, please. Hold on, what's going on? Not, they do. They do. They target. Well, I have a situation where, I do believe that when my dad married my mom, I believe that he aspired to be worthy of her. I believe that when he married her, he was like, oh, you come from a good family. You're beautiful. I know I can deserve you. I know I can work hard to be a good husband to you. But I think that when his low self-esteem and all that kicked in, letting him know, like, you aren't worthy. You aren't good enough for her. That's when the abuse started. So that's what happens a lot of times with women who are highly confident. You can run into a man who pretends like he's the one that, he's the one. And if he has low self-esteem and he recognizes, oh, my self-esteem is low, now I got to tear her down so she doesn't leave me. Right? And then you got a roller coaster. So that happens. That happens. But I want everybody freed. Everybody that can possibly be freed from low self-esteem, because that is your greatest defense. Like I said earlier, the greatest boundary is knowing who you are and acting like it. All right, y'all. I'm going to head out. Thank y'all so much. I love y'all so much. If you decide to join us within the identity intervention, I'll see you there. If not, you can catch me in one of my lives. I love to yap, and I love to invite people into self-love. God bless y'all too. I love y'all so much. Have a good night.